Welcome back to the Crazy Hockey Dads podcast, episode 30.
30.
Jeez. 30.
30. Yeah.
We've been doing this for that long already?
30 weeks?
30 weeks.
No, that's not true.
29
No.
weeks-ish.
26,
nope.
less.
Yeah, well, we haven't
26 weeks.
We haven't really...
It doesn't matter. It's whatever.
Yeah.
It's the next one. Next
But
episode.
it's crazy. We're the 30's decent number.
Yeah.
You know?
I'll take it. Hey, every new episode is great.
Yes, it is. Yeah. So I hope everybody had a nice weekend. I hope everybody's teams did well. I hope your kids did well. I hope you did well.
Because not all of us did.
Not all of us did so well this weekend, but yeah. How about that?
Yeah, well, we'll dive into those stories, but one thing we did forget to mention was that Crazy Hockey Dads is
Oh, sorry. I totally
the unfiltered
dropped the ball.
podcast for hockey parents. No politics, no sugarcoating, just real talk for hockey parents in the trenches.
Dropped the ball, and you highlighted it and everything.
I highlighted it.
Totally dropped the ball.
You did.
I was so more interested in talking about the weekend than doing that.
Yeah, you
Clearly.
playing, not paying much attention.
Clearly, but that's why you're here.
Well, that's why the
That's why you're here.
yeah,
I mean, right?
2 heads are better than 1 sometimes.
So, especially when you're shoulder checking.
When you do shoulder checking.
Especially when you're shoulder checking in the corner.
Yes. What do you mean?
Like, if you have 2 heads, you can look over both shoulders at the same time in the corner.
Yes. Yeah, totally, because that's normal.
Right. Well, because my kid had to shoulder check. My God. My kid had to shoulder check quite a bit this weekend.
Right.
Because they started hitting.
They started hitting.
Yeah, which is, sorry, I'm like, shutting my phone off.
Turn that shit off, dude.
No, seriously. I don't know how it gets, it's like.
No, yes, you do.
No, I don't.
What do you mean?
The silent mode, I keep turning it off and it keeps, I don't know. Don't even ask me.
I won't.
I need a phone.
That's not the answer. That is so not the answer. The answer is I don't.
In this case, it is the
It is
answer.
not. I need
It
a
is.
new phone when
No, I need a new
an alert goes off.
Speaking of, I just bought my kid a phone for the first time.
That was, you know what they call that?
Giving in?
A mistake.
Oh, tell me about it.
Yeah.
I'm well aware of that. I held out for this long,
Yeah.
And although I must say, when he comes back and we bought it from him and he came in the house and I'm like, Dom, as soon as you get in the house, I'm like, it goes on the kitchen counter and it stays there. So he goes, so then like later on that night, he went to go get it and bring it upstairs. I'm like, no. I'm like, it doesn't go upstairs.
Yeah.
I'm like, it stays on the kitchen counter. He's like, Dad, the whole idea of me having a phone is so my friends can text me. And I'm like, No.
That's not the whole idea.
I go, no. I go, that's actually not the idea at all. I go, that's exact opposite of actually why you have a phone.
Right.
I'm like, you have a phone so we can find you and contact you in case of an emergency and stuff like that.
Right.
That's why you have a phone.
Right.
And that's so you can text your friends.
And when you're in the house, we know exactly where you are.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And exactly where your phone is.
But does he sells a watch?
He does.
Which is cellular? Like you can get calls on it?
Yes.
Okay, so, and can he text on it?
Yes.
So that's what the watch is for texting his friends, not the phone. That's a rebuttal.
Yeah, I suppose. It's this, he does talk to text on his watch.
Yeah, okay.
Because the keyboard is so tiny.
No doubt.
Yeah. But yeah, so we got him a phone, unfortunately.
All right, well.
Yeah. He needed it for school. I'm not going to lie, though.
If you say so.
You're just placating me now.
Well, do you want me? I
do.
I strongly
Yes.
disagree.
I do. I do too. Trust me, I disagree. You
No,
think
but
I
but
on the
I
phone?
also I don't know the.
I disagree with my decision as well. You think I'm kidding? I didn't want to do
No,
this.
but I think I disagree with
This
the
is all
fact
my
that
wife's
he needs it
fault.
for school. What the hell does he need it for school for? When they go to school, like at home in your house, it goes on the kitchen counter. It goes into the locker. It goes away so people are not distracted. Correct or incorrect?
No, this is correct.
It's correct. So he didn't need it for school. Not even a little. But that's okay.
This is awful.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, listen.
It's awful.
It is bound to get a phone at some point, and while this is fun, and I'm sorry.
No apologies necessary. Yeah.
Everything is going to be okay.
I'm not worried because he's pretty much on lockdown with it, so I'm not exactly worried. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I'm really not worried. I'm not worried.
You're going to find out all the things.
I don't want to find out all the things. I don't want to know the things. So how was your weekend? Never mind my kid's phone.
Well, my
How
son
was
did
your
not
weekend?
not get a phone. He did not get a phone.
Your son did not get a phone.
He did not get a phone. Although I will say this was funny today. His iPad broke. Not today, but we had gotten him a replacement, and we have an app on the iPad that can control what he sees, what he doesn't see. Like, you know, it's got all these filters and blockers, and we can turn it off and give him more time and all that bullshit.
Yeah.
So in any event, he got the new device, so I'm putting this app back on the iPad so we can have control of it.
Right.
And I'm looking at his text messages.
Yeah.
And I click on one between him and his friend.
Oh boy.
And I see a picture of Otto sitting in a Ferrari in the driver's seat. And I was like,
clever. Whoever did that is pretty clever.
No.
Are you shaking the table?
Yes.
Either that or there's another earthquake.
No, my knee is firmly touching the bottom of the table.
Isn't it?
And when I laugh, my knee's moving.
So can I just tell you, like, I wasn't sure it was you or an earthquake because my microphone keeps swaying next to my face.
Anyway, I'll take my knee off of there. That should alleviate all those problems.
I appreciate it.
So in any event, he's
Otto
sitting in the
is in a Ferrari.
He's sitting in the driver's seat of a Ferrari.
He has syndrome, Riz.
Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. In any event.
It was funny. It was funny.
It was funny. So in any event, that was surprising. And my only hope is that the person who owns that Ferrari gave him permission to sit in the
God. Wait. So he literally jumped into a Ferrari?
He was literally sitting in a Ferrari.
It.
No, he was literally sitting in a Ferrari.
Was this weekend?
It was yesterday morning at 11.
Do you have any idea how he got into the Ferrari?
The only context that I have is the picture of him sitting in the driver's seat.
Stop.
I swear to God. Here, I'll show you the picture.
Oh, that's funny, Scott.
No, well, I mean,
it's
it's funny if he got permission to do it.
It's kind of funny even if
Here.
he didn't. Oh my goodness gracious, yes. Oh, is that
sitting
funny?
in a Ferrari?
It was parked on the street.
Yeah, and it's a convertible, and the top's down. So, I mean, in theory, he could have let himself in, I suppose. But I don't even have a Ferrari. I've never sat in a Ferrari.
I have.
Yeah? Well, that's amazing for both of you.
Yeah,
You and my son have another thing in common.
Don't worry, you're not missing much.
Okay. Well, anyway, so I think let's. So the weekend was full. So we were away on vacation. We flew back, and
That's right. You guys were away.
so Otto missed this first two games.
How'd that go?
Of him missing the games.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I told the coach, as soon as like we were on the
guys
team
got
and
on the
whatever, I
team,
said,
yeah.
listen, this was booked a year ago. It's my dad's 80th birthday,
Right.
and we're going to be out of town with my family. So
You guys took 2 L's, right?
we took 2 L's.
It's all your fault.
And then the next 2 games when Otto was back, they got 2 W's.
It's all your fault. Did you feel guilty?
No, I don't feel guilty.
You should.
Why?
I'm just kidding.
No, I don't feel guilty. It would have been nice if he was there, but that's not the way it worked out.
Listen, you need to go to the 80th birthday. That's important.
Yeah, no, for sure. And yes, so in any event,
it's important.
so when we got back,
Still your
we
fault.
flew. What? It's not still my fault. Get out of here.
Nobody goes on vacation during hockey season. I'm just joking.
I mean that's
But nobody goes on vacation during hockey season.
okay. Okay, well then you label me as you will, judge me as you'd like.
I'm just kidding.
We prioritize family over hockey.
Of course. I'm just
Okay,
kidding. Of
so
course, of course.
we
It's
flew
more
back.
important than a hockey game.
We flew back. We got to the airport. We took an Uber to the car. We got in the car. We drove
Mm-hmm.
to another state, and then we made it in time for the game. And he
impressive.
played his first game Saturday night. And yeah, man. So this is my first taste
Yeah.
of him playing down at tier 2.
Yeah.
And look, there are clear differences. There's no doubt.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Clear differences.
You're not wrong.
Skating, team play, and I'm not talking about Otto's team specifically,
Mm-hmm.
although there is truth to that as well. But just broadly speaking, from the other games that I watched,
Right.
There was it's different, and that's okay.
It is different. Yeah. No, you're right.
And there's nothing wrong with it at all. But
A little more time, a little more space.
which Otto took advantage of, and so
Sounds like it.
he had. Listen, he put a few points on the board.
Good. No, it's good.
And he felt good. He had fun. I think there are things, from him specifically that, look, I think a lot of parents will also empathize with the idea that, dude, is that your phone?
Yeah.
Jeez. With
What's going on?
with having expectations and then like watching the game and then like, some expectations aren't met and that's like, frustrating or whatever. And I had those moments as well, no doubt.
Right.
But overall, I think if I keep perspective and I think about what we were looking for in this season, and if we take the first 2 games as kind of like a microcosm,
right.
So the check boxes that happened, was Otto one of the better players on the ice? Check box, yes.
Okay.
Was he having fun? All smiles? Check box, yes,
Nice.
for the most part.
Important.
What did he have more time and space on the ice to be a bit more creative? Check box. Yes, he was doing things that I haven't seen him try to do before.
It's awesome.
Not necessarily advisable all the time, but nonetheless, But this is something I talked about, the hopes that he would have more puck touches.
I know what you mean.
So all those things were true, and there's the deficiencies or the holes in the game, which should be plentiful as he's only 10. They're still there, and they matter a little bit less, at tier 2. And I think we're off to a good start. To a good start, and
it's great.
The team needs to be coached up. It's a new group of kids. There's like 5 kids from another team that came to this team.
Okay.
There's like 4 kids from
the old team. Right. And then everybody else is kind of from everywhere else.
So I think this team is made up of players from 7 different organizations from last season.
Oh, interesting.
Right? So
interesting.
it's a whole new cast. And there's,
we have a similar makeup.
You'd expect, that the team play to be, to not be there.
A little wonky for the first couple. Yeah. No, that's fine. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. And that was obvious, but that's like also fine. And they ended up splitting, they went 2-2 on the weekend and they left on a high note. And I think it'll be, it should be good.
Good. Yeah. Sounds great.
How about you?
It was good.
Yeah.
It was interesting to see the game when they start hitting.
Yeah. So
first game of actually like full on, like you can hit.
And so with that,
yeah,
I think I asked you this on the phone because we'll get to that story when we were on the phone.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, yeah, right.
No idea what you're talking about.
No, none. But like, so for the kids, was it clear that there were some kids that like knew that they could, like they were all about it? They were trying to do it constantly. Were kids just kind of like playing the normal game and they haven't really caught on to the fact that like, it's different to know that you practice hitting, but then in the flow of the game to like, have that muscle memory, that's going to take time perhaps for them to get used to saying, oh, now I can throw a body check.
I think, it was interesting. I wasn't sure what to expect now that the kids can hit. Some of them, like you said, did come out and hit, right? Some didn't. Some had a hard time angling, right? And it's a great picture. And, and it's funny, like a little bit into the game, first game, I almost felt like some of them, like most of them forgot like they were allowed to hit.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I was trying to understand.
It was interesting. They really kind of like forgot.
Because they don't have like the muscle memory for it yet.
Right.
It hasn't been part of their game.
So that was different to me.
Yeah.
Even Dominic said like he didn't know how the hitting part was going to go.
Right.
So he was, he played with a little bit of, he was like, cautious, whatever, trepidation, whatever you want to call it, right? He wasn't sure like how it was going to go.
Right. Like if you're in the corner now, like, am I about to get blasted? It might be going through his head.
So it's funny. There were a bunch of boarding calls this weekend.
Interesting. Just ill-timed.
Just like kids not thinking and just running into the kid when his numbers are like literally facing you.
Well, checking from behind versus boarding is.
Yeah. So, yes, true. But there were a lot of boarding calls.
Yeah. Okay.
A bunch of boarding calls.
Fair.
And it's funny. A lot of the boarding calls went to like majors.
Interesting.
Yeah. Like
we did not have that.
Yeah. We did. Yeah. Not only that, but there were a lot of like 2 and 10s or like 1.5 and 8, whatever it is, right? So there were a bunch of those.
Interesting.
And I guess they're trying to like teach the kids how to, do you know what I mean? They're trying to show them like what is and what isn't okay. What's also interesting, and I think I told you this on the phone, was if you don't make a play for the hockey puck and you just run through the guy, they call you for a penalty. Like our defenseman made a really nice hit, but he never made a play for the puck. He made a play on the guy carrying the puck, but never, I guess the ref explained to him while he was in the box. He's like, you never even looked down at the hockey puck. He just played the body the whole time. So,
but that's what you're supposed to do when you're taking the body. You don't look at the puck and then throw a body check.
You're going to get no argument from me.
You need to fucking follow the guy's chest and then hammer him.
A lot of our parents were in the stands going, what, I thought we were allowed to hit. Like, what's the deal here?
Such bullshit.
So you're not wrong. I mean, you're not wrong. I understand what USA... So I guess it's a USA Hockey rule, right? So I understand what USA Hockey's trying to do.
Yeah.
You know, but I think it does not. This is going to be so annoying. I mean, like it does not. I guess high school is different.
But they're trying to prevent injury. Is that like your take on it?
I don't know. I'm not sure because if you, in my opinion, so apparently high school does not do that. High school, you can open ice somebody.
Right, but you're also not at high school yet.
Listen, you can still open ice somebody. You just have to make a play for the puck.
But so,
right?
In that set, what does that look like? Is that like you're clearly extending your arm with your stick to try to like make a poke check?
Yeah,
type
they
of thing?
want you to play the hockey puck. Now, okay, and so here's the flip side of the coin, right? Depending on what ref you had, sometimes that didn't get called. Sometimes it did.
Well, because it's subjective to begin with, of course it's going to be inconsistent.
No question about it, right? So obviously, depending on who the ref was, it was depending on if he was going to get called or not. So that was different, right? So you are allowed to hit, but now the kids are kind of pulling up a little bit because they're like, oh my God, am I not looking down the hockey puck? Do I have to have my stick on puck? You know, so it was different. It was cool. I'm not going to lie. I like the game so much better when you can hit. It's a very, it's cool.
It starts to feel like a real hockey game.
It's cool. Even my wife was like, I like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like some of the parents were like, oh, Johnny, you know.
Dude,
like,
I will say this.
Some kids were getting lit up too. Like it was.
I was watching a game by coincidence. One of Otto's former teammates.
Right.
We had a game at the same building that his older brother happened to be playing after us. Like total coincidence. His brother at the time was 16U, and we were in the corner and we were just watching kids on puck retrievals getting
just absolutely annihilated, right?
Annihilated.
Yeah.
And we're like, you're up close and you're just like, that's someone's child.
That's why I said before, two heads are better than one to shoulder check, because my God, they come fast. Like I saw Dominic shoulder checking regularly.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
but I mean, that's good habit anyway.
Oh, of course
obviously.
it is. No question about it. But he's done it forever, but now you actually need to do it.
Right.
You know, because somebody's barreling down on you, and they have to communicate too, like, like man on, man on.
But here's a
like,
question.
Like coming or whatever they're saying, But yeah, it was good.
So what happens when you're on a retrieval? Let's say the defenseman is going in, the puck was dumped in, and you've got an F1 bearing down on
Dominic did it to somebody in the first game.
But my question is, what if you're the defenseman and you reverse hit?
Of course you can.
What do you mean, of course? You're not playing the puck on a reverse hit. You know what I'm saying?
Fair. Like you said before.
Zero,
I mean, listen, I suppose
zero puck playing. The only thing you're doing is body, or you don't even yet.
I mean, I don't know the answer to that, Scott. That's a very good point, because if you're following USA Hockey's new rule,
then that's a penalty.
Or are they going to be actually?
So you can't protect yourself in that situation. You have to eat it. Is that kind of what?
Or are they not going to be pussies and actually let the defenseman throw a shoulder?
I mean,
they should let the defenseman. You have to be able to protect yourself, right? That's protecting yourself.
And I think there is a difference there. Like if we talk about it like that, the defenseman's protecting himself. Whereas if you're like, there's an open ice hit and you're just like, going after the guy.
I would think that they would not. I would think that they would not call a penalty there. I would hope that they would.
I would hope not too.
Yeah, but listen, I'll let you know as it kind of like winds on here. But it was. I'm not gonna lie, it was cool to watch. Like all of you who started hitting this weekend, it's fun.
Dude, I'm looking forward to
neat.
that.
Not gonna lie, it's pretty neat.
Yeah. So let's a little good segue into Saturday night.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Saturday night. So
I don't know what you're talking about.
Let me just remind you. So
I don't know what you're talking about.
I get a phone call.
What phone call?
Jesus. I get a phone call, and in short, you were on the other end, losing your mind over what you were witnessing.
I don't remember this.
And you took CHD advice. You left the rink and you phoned a friend when you were having a mini meltdown.
Because they didn't have a 50-50 left, so I had to phone a friend.
Right, you had to.
Yeah. I had no choice.
So here you are. Dominic had a solid, more than solid weekend. And you've come to learn that in retrospect.
I have.
But what happened, and what what was happening for you when you started to lose it?
So I think that it's funny. He was, it's funny. Like we talk about like how, you just see the negative things. You don't see the positive things.
Totally.
Which
yeah,
I 100%, not all the time, but I do it. So it's funny how you as a parent get so wound up on like effort level. You know what I mean? Where you're not happy with your kid's effort level. Like, so, and again, and I probably should have given him some slack, by the way, because, he even said, Dad, I needed the first 1 or 2 games to like figure the hitting part out. Like I wasn't sure how I was going to go. And I think all the kids were a little cautious in those first 2 games. So the first 2 games, it was the first 2 games into the 3rd game. Okay.
Wait. It was the first 2 games going into the 3rd game.
Night.
Right, exactly. Going into the third, right. Yeah. Where you'd started.
It was we were halfway through the 3rd game.
And you had a mini.
I did. I did have a mini. I did. And in retrospect, I don't know why I did. I think, I don't know. I kept telling him to try to like warm up his hands like before the games. You know what I mean? Like go through your warm ups like with purpose. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he wasn't. And I didn't say anything to him, but it carried over onto the ice.
Right.
It carried over during the game.
But what is it in that sentence? His hand. He didn't have soft hands.
Right. He was like wonky. Right. Like he wasn't playing with purpose. He was slow and kind of clunky. Now, the puck still went in the net a couple times. Right? Like he had points out of it, but it was like sloppy. You know what I mean? Now, should it matter that it's sloppy? In retrospect, probably not, but it could have been so much more crisp. And when your kid can play like that, more crisp and clean, right? I guess you just kind of wish that they would warm up the right way and take it serious. And I guess they will at some point in time. But I got frustrated, like super frustrated.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Because you weren't getting what you were expecting.
Right.
Or you wanted.
And I have to tell you, like, and I think I told you this, like, I went back and I rewatched that 3rd game, the game where I left and I called you during, right? And in retrospect, I'm such a dick.
Yeah.
Because, like, after the 3rd game, he had like 9 points.
9 points in 3 games.
Like what? And I looked at that. I'm like, you are such an asshole. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like 9 points. Like, what the fuck are you complaining about?
Right.
Like, what kind of a schmuck are you?
Well, look,
right?
It's like yes and no.
I didn't see the forest through the trees.
You didn't see the forest,
and I don't know why I didn't.
So,
it was so foolish and stupid.
But like
really, it was foolish. I didn't tell him any of this, by the way.
Right. Which is good on you.
Yeah, I didn't, and I didn't.
Wait, did he know that you left the rink?
No.
He didn't?
No.
How do you know he didn't know?
Because he was asking me about hits that he threw while I was like when he didn't know I was going.
You tell him solid.
I don't know what I said. I don't know what I said, but
they were great.
He did not know. Nancy's like, of course he knew. I'm like, no, he didn't.
Really?
Because I was kind of moving around a bunch. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I don't think he did.
Do you normally do that?
Just recently I am. I have.
Interesting.
Yeah. So yeah. So I don't think you knew.
Interesting. Because what I was going to say is the points.
He'll know if he listens to this.
That's true. That's true. He will know. Now he will know.
Both our kids seem to be listening all of a sudden.
Yeah, my dad. Jesus, what's wrong with me? My son is giving me like Howie's discount codes on the sidewalk. Like, hey, Dad, crazy 10.
He's like, Dad, you need laces? Crazy 10, crazy 10.
Totally.
He's like, Dad, don't buy it here. You get 10% off elsewhere.
Totally. Anyway, but no, look. So I will say this: your son has played really high level hockey, and he is a talented player.
He is.
And
no, he's got ability.
But in terms of your own frustration,
yeah,
like I think it's clear, especially coming off like last season, that he's a proven goal scorer, and putting points on the board is not something that should necessarily take for granted. And it's clearly a signal that he's like influencing the game. But if you were to tell me like, look, yes, I get that, and I don't want to.
Yeah,
I want to acknowledge that. You can still be upset about like, if there's
I
really
suppose.
a lack of effort. And you said earlier, just talking about, I think of all the things that is fair to get bent out of shape about. I think effort is a reasonable one because it transcends not just sport. It transcends like, you want your kids to work hard. You want your kids to compete at a high level. And when I say a high level, I don't mean like, be like the best player.
Yeah, but I know what you mean.
You want them to have some dog in them. You want them to be resilient, want them to like work hard every shift. And of course, it's not going to happen 100% of the time.
No,
but
you're right.
Effort is 100% within their control. It's not like you're getting annoyed at him for like, even if it was a technical skill like stick handling or shooting or edge work, that's not something that he just might not be there yet. And I guess the same could be true.
Yeah.
The same could be said about or true for effort, but you can decide to move your legs faster no matter how well you skate.
Yes, you can. How tired you are.
Right.
And I have to tell you, I want to make this clear. When I talk about like effort with my child, it's not only ice hockey. Ice hockey was just the thing at the moment, but I've gotten frustrated with Dominic for not, this could sound so stupid, but not like giving effort when he like brushes his teeth or like puts on his sneakers.
Fair.
My kid takes the path of least resistance. So he'll brush his teeth for like 10 seconds.
Is that really brushing your teeth?
No, dude.
Right.
That's not how it works.
Yeah.
So it's everything. It's not just ice hockey. It's everything.
No doubt.
And we talk about this as life skills for our children. Our children are doing this to develop life skills.
You want them to learn how to do hard things.
And because when they get older, they will have to do these things to be successful in life. And we want our kids to be successful in life, so we want them to learn how to do these skills at a young age. So you want them to exhibit these skills and learn these skills at a young age so they can carry it on moving forward and become really, really good people and successful people. Right.
And you want to see that in different situations.
100%.
Like in the bathroom, brushing your teeth.
It's everything. On the ice skating.
When you're doing your homework.
When you're doing your schoolwork. Correct.
All of it.
And I want him to be prepared. I was kind of irritated with him because I wanted him to warm up the right way and do the things you need to do to prepare. Not just for ice hockey, for business, for school, for whatever. Right. You need to prepare correctly. If you don't prepare for a job interview, if you don't prepare for a business phone call, if you don't prepare for a hockey game, if you don't prepare for, I don't know, a speech you're making, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you have to prepare and you have to put time in and prepare the right way for things in life. So I wasn't mad. It happens to come out in ice hockey, right?
Yeah.
This weekend. But, I was irritated because he wasn't preparing in my eyes the right way. And it was hurting him on the ice.
So
that's what I saw.
So
right?
Dom's 2 years older than Otto, but my rebuttal, or what can't find the right word, but when you talk about preparing the right way, I mean, we're talking about youth sports, and we're talking, we've had conversations about how early specialization and the early professionalization of like children is like something that sucks the fun right out of the game. So there's a line to be walked with that. And my question for you is, do you think that your expectations of what is right for him
are too great?
Do they align with a kid who's playing a sport, or do they align with, a kid who's not being professional enough?
So they align. My child tells me that he wants to play he tells me he wants to go to the NHL, right? And listen, that's wonderful and all, but he tells me he wants to play like D1 hockey.
Yeah.
That probably is an attainable goal. Not saying that the NHL is not, right? But the numbers are obviously very minuscule.
Even
of course, right? So if you want to play any college hockey, D1 1, 2, or 3.
Let's just call it college hockey. Yeah,
College hockey, right? He wants to play at the next level above high school.
Right.
So if he really wants that, so we're showing him the tools to attain that.
Yeah.
Right. So he says he wants to do this. Right. And I always tell him, dumb talk is cheap. You got to put your money where your mouth is.
Yeah.
Right. You can want something, which is great. So I'm trying to show him. And again, this is a life skill.
Right.
You want something, right? You want to go start a business. You want to go start, I don't know, you want to, whatever it is, right? If you want something, you got to go work toward it.
Yes.
Okay. So you have to prepare the right way and you have to work hard. You have to do the right things to attain your goal, right? So when he tells me that and you give them the tools to be able to go after that.
Yeah.
And when they don't do it, it's frustrating as a parent. And again, life skill. It just happens to come out in hockey a lot. But again, I could give you a gazillion examples of him brushing his teeth, combing his hair, putting on his shoes and socks.
Right,
I could give you cleaning his room. I could give you a bazillion things.
Totally get it.
But we're just talking about hockey right now. Obviously.
But what you're expecting of him, like the right way of preparing, is that level of preparation necessary for him right now? Because
it's probably not, and I think I'd probably foolish to want him to do it all. But you know what? Pick one thing and do it, right? Like hydrate yourself. You know what I mean? My kid does not hydrate himself.
No, my kid doesn't because he simply can't find a water bottle ever.
Funny you said that. My kid doesn't even take his water bottle on the ice.
Because he forgets or because he doesn't?
So my kid has left, because of his ADHD, he's probably left 100 water bottles on the bench.
Yeah.
So in order to not leave it on the bench, he just doesn't take it. So
does he use other kids' water bottles? Because that's a strategy a kid on Otto's team last year used.
So I said to him,
he's like, I'll just take someone else's
Dom,
water. Yeah.
We had this conversation literally before we went to this weekend showcase. I go, Dom, so what do you do? Because I said, do you want your water bottle? No, I don't need it. I'm like, okay, you don't need it. I'm like, so what exactly are you doing? It's my wife's birthday. My fucking text.
Happy birthday, Nancy.
My text thing is exploding. Sorry, people.
Why is yours if it's her birthday?
Because it's our neighbors and it's exploding.
Oh,
yeah. We're all on it, so it's exploding.
Popular.
It's our neighbors. So I said to him, I go, Dom, you need to hydrate. He goes, I do hydrate. I go, how? You don't have a water bottle. He goes, Dad, I use other people's. I go, do you really? He goes, yeah. I go, and they just let you? He goes, well, they don't know that I'm using it. I go, what do you do? He goes, when they're out there on a shift, I grab their water bottle. So I go, so I said to him, I go, do you really? He goes, yeah. I go, Dom, I go, have you ever just grabbed XYZ water bottle and you put it and you started drinking from it and it's for something other than water? He's like, yeah. He's like, one of my teammates' electrolyte water sucks. He's like, it's garbage. He's like, it's awful.
He can give you a review on his teammates' beverage choices.
He goes in the one. He goes, the one waters down his Gatorade he goes, that's terrible. He goes, but man, that electrolyte water is awful. That's what he said to me.
That is so funny.
He's like, I forgot who it was, but I go, really? He goes, yeah. He goes, Dad. He goes, I'm strategic about it. I go, are you now?
Yeah, that's good.
So he grabs other people's. He's been doing it for a while too.
That's probably not. This is. I mean.
Yeah. Even
at least he's hydrating.
I suppose.
Yeah.
But yes. So, how did we even get on the water bottle topic? So he doesn't. He doesn't take a water bottle. That's a perfect example.
Right. Of preparation.
Right. Worked all right. It's a perfect example. So I want him to prepare the right way. I want him to listen. We all want our kids to do this stuff. This is not just me, right? But then when the lack of preparation limits your ability to play,
your potential, right?
Or do whatever. It doesn't have to be hockey. It could be, again, giving a speech. It could be
doing well on an exam,
studying for a test, right? It could be cleaning your room. Whatever it is, you're not doing it to your full potential. You're kind of half-assing it, right?
Yeah. But aren't kids allowed to half-ass some stuff?
Listen, I suppose they are, right? But at some point in time, you're going to need to start doing things the right way. Because you don't want to grow up and be somebody who just shortcuts.
Yeah, and I think about that, and I think about myself, and I think about the way I was.
The shortcuts, you know what I mean? Shortcuts are you don't want a shortcut.
I've definitely found though, and tell me if you have as well, that you plant the seed and it takes a little while for it to grow.
Of course.
And there's a few things for sure that
No
like
question.
with Otto that even still he
No
does. And
question about it.
I'm not thinking of a good example right now, but
question.
I know that for years we've said X and finally it catches. Right.
Yes,
So
and it does for the most part.
and
You're
so
not
the
wrong.
part of it's like a developmental thing, and part of it is, but I think the important part about what we're talking about, and that's, not taking shortcuts, putting forth effort. And I think that's also where I get tripped up sometimes, is because I feel like I'm saying it for the fucking 100,000th whatever
Because
time.
you are.
Because I am.
Because you are.
And it's still not happening.
Yeah.
But I would, my hope is that with time, yep, another ding, that with time, like it'll eventually, sink in and, whatever. But like one of my examples for like to this is when Otto lines up in the face-off.
Right.
Dude doesn't put his stick down on the ice, and it drives me fucking bananas.
He has it on his hip.
Yeah, he's got two hands on the stick, and he's just like holding it like across his legs.
I think that changes as they get older, because Dominic.
But you know what I
that.
noticed? Like all the other kids on this team or on the ice are doing it.
Yeah.
So my point is that like that's something like I can say until I'm blue in the face, and I don't know. Am I gonna ream him out for it? Am I gonna come down like? I
know what that's
there's
like.
only
My kid did too.
And you have to like pick and choose your battles, right? Like everything. I'm not willing to die on that hill. Like that's not one of them right now. It wasn't. There was a moment in time where it was, but
So, and I get that. So you want me to tell you something, a funny story, not story, but a kind of a thing that Dominic used to do. So Dominic graduated from having the stick blade down all the time. So the stick was upside down. Okay.
Wait.
All the time.
When he was skating.
Yeah, it was upside down.
Why?
I
He
don't
would just
fucking
turn
know.
it?
Yeah. The blade was always upside down. So it was like
Interesting.
hooking down toward the ice. So we went from that to the stick on the hip, right? The skating with it on the hip, to having it like, but as he gets older, it got closer to the ice.
Well, that's a good sign.
It turned.
His arms got longer.
From rotating down to the right way. And then it went down, and it was at the hips, and it was at like the knees, and now it's on the ground.
Yeah.
Now it's
Okay.
on the ice.
Well, listen, I'm sure it'll change for Otto also.
But man, that hook down toward the ice, that drove
Annoying.
me fucking bananas.
Because you and I think it's like how simple is that?
It is simple.
And like part of like what we're talking about in terms of being prepared.
That's not being prepared. While you're playing, that is not.
That's not being prepared. No, and that's something that would drive a coach bonkers. It would, or maybe it doesn't. I don't know what feedback he's getting on the bench.
Listen, what I noticed about this game at a youth level, these kids go through these stupidest little phases. For the most part, they all seem to disappear. They do.
As
From what
with
I can
so
tell.
many things in life
Yeah,
that are
listen,
just like
some bad habits will stay, but for the most part, a lot of this crap goes away.
yeah. And look,
So not
and
to fear
exactly
parents,
why
not
I'm
to
not.
fear.
That's why it's not a hill that I'm willing to die
No,
on.
it shouldn't be.
But I'm more willing to speak up when it comes to effort. And
I understand that.
and in that regard,
Yeah.
one of the things that I wanted to, so we use Helios, right? The whatever you call it,
tracker?
the tracker,
Yeah.
which is great. And so one of the benefits of Helios is that it cuts your kids' shifts. Like if you upload the video of the game.
For those of you who don't know what Helios is a monitor that goes on the shoulder pads.
It's a wearable technology that you wear on your shoulder pads, and it tracks like your kid's movement, and it gives you metrics on agility, average speed, maximum speed, balance, among a few other things.
And it links to Live Barn and Black Bear TV and all your closed circuit TV systems, and it cuts your shifts up.
Correct.
So it will actually cut, if your kid's on the ice, it will recognize the tracker, and it will record your kid's shift.
Yes. Right. So it lines up, I guess, at timestamps or whatever it does.
Right. For those of you who don't understand what Helios is.
Right. And it's a pretty cool technology. Check it out. So he wears it, and
Helios, call us. We'll get a partnership going.
Actually, but when we first onboarded it, like when Otto, like a couple of years ago, I was coaching. Right. I had some questions about team like subscriptions and blah blah.
Yeah.
And I spoke with the founder, and super nice guy.
Oh, you spoke to him already?
Accessible. This was a couple of years ago.
Call us.
Listen, they got Matt Nyes. Matt Nyes is their guy.
Dude, Matty Nyes is a rock star.
No doubt.
Yo, Helios, let's go. Give us a ring.
So anyhow.
Have your people call our people.
Which is really me.
I was saying, we don't have people just yet, but yeah. You get the point. We will have people.
And so Otto knows that like we have his shifts.
Yeah.
And so I said to him, like, look, dude, I would love to show you some things. I'm not going to make you every week and scheduled, I would love it to come from you.
Right.
If there's something that's like super glaring, I'm going to ask you, I'd like to show it to you.
That's cool.
What do you think? And I was expecting to be like, yeah, totally. Awesome. Let's do that.
He's like, nah, I'm
and
good.
he was like, I guess it'll make me better. And I'm like, what do you mean you guess it? Of course it's going to make you better. So why do you not want that? Because similarly, like when you were saying before that Dominic says he wants to go to the NHL and like Otto says things similarly and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, they all say
so like, are your actions aligning with your goals? And clearly we're talking about
Probably
very
not.
young children.
Yes.
And so Otto's actions should not necessarily be the same actions that someone who's like 16 and trying to go to a D1.
Correct.
But my point is that there's some low hanging fruit that like, if I could
Can be fixed.
Let me take it for 10 minutes.
It probably won't even take that long.
Probably won't even take that long.
No.
So, when I didn't get the answer that I wanted, which was like, yeah, of course, let's totally do it.
Yeah.
And look, I could have been asking him at a time when he's just like not in the mood. Like there's so many variables, but for me as a crazy hockey parent, I'm like getting like, I guess, yeah, ultimately I was annoyed, but that was temporary. And, but now my internal debate with all of this is because I do want to help him. And there's a lot of things that I saw this weekend that are just, whether or not they would be fixed, they are easy fixes, simple but not easy.
Right.
Maybe it'll take a little while for it to click while he's in the moment to like do something different. Which is fair and fine.
Yep. I agree.
But now it's like, how hard do I push, if at all, about getting him to watch video? So, I even I was thinking to myself, well, let's just do this. Let's just schedule like every Friday, or Saturday morning. We'll just like carve out like 10 minutes, show him some clips.
Yeah.
Do I just say like, hey, dude, this is what we're doing? Like lay down the law and make him do it?
Right.
And then get annoyed when he doesn't want to do it and say, hey, listen, you made an agreement to me and we said we were going to do this and now you're not holding up your end of the bargain and blah, 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 blah.
Listen, you could teach him. You could show him that. You could show him that.
I could go that route, or I could be like, what? Let me just like,
probably show him that and do it in a more gentle way too, and just unfortunately, like you said before, tell him 1,000 times and it will click one time.
Right.
Because
part of me wants it to come from him, and if it's coming from him,
I understand that. So I think we all do as parents.
Right. Of course.
Yeah.
So I'm just in my mind thinking about, well, is this something that I should push on? And it's been a real back and forth. Sometimes I get frustrated. I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. Like whenever he says like, hey dad, let's watch a video. Cause that's happened.
Yeah.
Very few and far between.
I get it.
But so I don't know. But then on the other hand, we got back from the weekend and pretty much as soon as we got home, he's like, dude, he goes, dad, you want to shoot pucks?
That's cool.
And I was like, sure, let's go shoot pucks.
It's funny, Scott. It kind of manifests itself in sometimes different ways.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So maybe it's not him wanting to watch film, but maybe it's him wanting to go shoot hockey pucks. You know what I'm saying?
You're right.
At this point, right? So, he's obviously doing more, right? Maybe it's not the more that you were looking for, right? So maybe it's not going to make his hockey IQ better at the moment, but maybe this will make his shot better. And he clearly wants to shoot because he said to you, let's go shoot hockey pucks.
Yeah.
Right? He was clearly a little more enthused about shooting hockey pucks than he was watching a couple minutes of him playing, right?
Yeah.
Also, it's funny. I know Dominic never liked to, even when he was like, since he was like 2, like Dominic never liked it when he didn't do something right. Yeah. Like he's always been like a hardhead like that. Like when he did something wrong, even when he was a kid, like a 2-year-old, when you would tell him he did something wrong, he's like, no, I didn't. Right. And he was adamant about not doing it. He's like, I didn't just do that. Right. You're like, dude, I just saw you do it. He's like, no, I didn't. Right. So for my kid, ever since he's young, he does not like to be told that he's done something incorrectly. Right. Right. So it was hard. It's been hard to get him to watch film because he never wanted to see things that didn't go well. Right. Just recently, and I mean like within the last 3 days. Yeah. Okay. He's seen himself on Blackbird TV, and he has a different attitude toward it. Right. He's like, ooh, I should have moved the puck there. Ooh, I should. And this was him watching it.
Right.
I didn't like say,
but
hey,
did
bud,
he
let's
asked
go.
to put it on, or you were watching?
I had it on, and I was kind of messy because I like I told you, I went back and watched his film.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to see if what I was freaking out about was legit or not, or if I was just in my own head. And clearly, I was in my own head because when I watched the film back, I was 1,000% wrong. By the way, I told you, I told Nancy that too. When I watched his film back.
Like when you were having your like the film when you had your meltdown, when you went back and watched
the first 3 games back, and I was like, dude, what the fuck was I so bent out of shape about? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, dude, listen, I've seen
What
Dom
an
play.
asshole you are.
Like even just the clip that you were showing me, yeah.
I was so wrong. I was just I was so in my own head and wound up about like a small thing.
And this you can trace this back to like the way he was warming up and not preparing, that you think that's the root of like you being bent out of shape.
Yeah, I do.
And does he have a history of not meeting your expectations?
Warming up wise?
Oh,
100%.
Because you would always tell me,
100%.
You would always tell me like I can tell from the moment he gets on the ice and during warm-ups if he's going to have a good game or not.
I can tell by when Dominic puts his stick on the bench, his backup stick on the bench, and he does a lap around the ice. I can tell you if he's going to have a good game or not.
And did that hold true this past weekend?
Oh yeah, I could tell immediately. Immediately.
So
if the balance is there, if the giddy up is there, the speed he's going at, I could tell from I can tell from the blue line to behind the net what the game's going to look like.
That's
very rarely does it deviate from. I've not been wrong many times. Let's put it that way. I've for whatever reason I've not been wrong many times. I can tell.
Right.
From I can tell by his attitude in the car on the way to the rink. I could tell by his attitude when he woke up that morning. I look at Nancy. I'm like, it's not going to go well. She's like, Jim, you never. She's like, you always say that. I'm like, Nancy, I'm telling you, it's not going to go well. I could tell. I could just tell.
Yeah, you should probably stop trying to have that conversation with yourself.
Which conversation?
The one analyzing all of these things before the game.
I don't analyze. I just notice it.
But what I'm saying is, I'm making making this up. You tell me if it's true or not. But if you think from the moment he gets out of his bed, let's just say that he's going to have a bad game, you're reinforcing this idea in your brain that he's going to play poorly. And the moment you see something that isn't like the best version of whatever it is, I knew it. I knew it. I knew it from the moment he.
Listen, what you're saying is not wrong. And I can just tell by his attitude.
Yeah.
Toward the day.
Okay.
If it's going to be because when he does that. Mm-hmm. Very rarely does it come back up. If he's here, right? If he's having a rough go for whatever reason, like leading up to game time, very rarely does it go like this.
Well, now
which is something we've been working on.
Okay, so that's what I was going to say.
Getting your headspace right and getting out of the funk you're in and turning the switch and changing the direction you're headed.
Now, another question is that this sounds like very professional.
It is. We're talking about mindset, and we're talking about like how your thoughts are.
So he's 13.
Yeah.
So he's starting to turn a corner in terms of like maturity.
Yeah, but I don't expect him to be able to control the way he's thinking yet.
Right.
We're trying, but we're trying, but it's not easy. But I mean, listen, it's I don't know. I don't have to tell you. But that's what. So I got in my head which was so unnecessary. And again, when I went back and watched his film, and it's funny, whenever I go back and watch his film, it's never as bad as I remember it being.
That's great.
Yeah, it's never as bad. So so I don't really rush to judgment anymore. Like I won't say anything to him.
Right.
But I go back and I'm like, oh shit, it wasn't like nearly.
Like what the fuck was I smoking?
Exactly.
Right.
Now, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
I was thinking about this weekend. Why do you think that we all care so much about our kids' effort level, our kids' preparation, our kids' training, our kids' eating, our kids', the nutrition, because our parents did not care about that stuff. And listen to this. In my opinion, everybody wants more for their kids than they had. Would you agree with that?
So can you
give a
little context?
Everybody wants a better life for their children than they have.
Okay, I think that's
right throughout human history.
Okay,
right. Everybody, for the most part, I can't imagine most people won't want that. Right. Most people want more for their children than they have
themselves.
Right. So, and I think we as parents see the mistakes that we have made along the lines, whether you had talent and you just weren't pushed, or you, I don't know, maybe you needed a mentor and you would have kind of taken off. A lot of people in the world have wasted talent. Okay. There's a lot of really average people in this world.
Yes.
Right. And that's fine. But, so my question is, why do we care so much? Do you think we care because we want them to be so much better than we did? Because again, I don't remember our parents doing that for us. I'm sure they wanted it.
Yeah.
But they didn't put the time and effort, in my opinion. I can just be able to our parents. Right. I'm sure other parents have done this, but I don't know if it's more of a wider spread thing now, as opposed to when we were younger, it was few and far between.
Oof.
I also think people make more money now than their parents did, 40 years ago. So maybe there's more money to throw around at this stuff.
There is, but there's also more opportunity to do it.
That's what I mean.
There wasn't as many, at least with hockey specifically.
So the financing is there for most, not some, right? Not all, but so again, my question is why do we care so much about our kids' nutrition, about our kids' preparation, about our kids' training, about them not missing out on an opportunity? Clearly, we are pushing our kids because we want them to be successful in whatever they're doing.
Yeah.
Right. That's why we care about this. People who don't care about this probably don't push their kids very hard.
Well, so I think the care. Why do we care? Let's talk about hockey specifically. I mean, I care about the way my son develops as an ice hockey player because it's something that he loves to do, that he's passionate about, right. And he's exhibited ability, and he tells me things like he wants to either, play AAA or,
Yeah,
whatever.
But I told my parents that when I was younger. I wanted to play Major League Baseball. I want to do this. I told my parents that. It's different.
No, it's different.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Wouldn't you agree it's different?
I would, but you and I were...
My parents didn't push me.
Were your parents athletes?
No.
No? Were my parents athletes?
No.
No. They didn't have any concept. And I don't think either one of my parents is terribly competitive. Although I say that... It's
funny you mention that because you're right. Your parents were not athletic, neither were mine, but you and I were.
Yeah. Yeah.
How that worked out.
But when I think about this, when we see our kids, I think kids don't know.
Sorry, that was me.
No, it's all good. They don't know, they obviously don't know what they don't know. And I think, helping them realize their potential requires some pushing and prodding, and obviously you can overdo it, and exposing them to more and different. So ultimately it comes down to, I think, my own personal competitiveness and his desire to be a good hockey player. And the intersection of that is okay, if you want to be a good hockey player, that's what you tell me. I'm going to figure out the things that are going to help you do that. And I'm going to invest my time and energy in trying to help you because you're my kid, and if it was something else,
I agree.
If it was something else, I don't know, my son does not love, let's just say, drawing, right? So if he's oh, I want to try drawing, I'm not going to get him private drawing lessons. I'm not going to, because at first, if he develops a passion for it,
sure.
But I will also say this with sports in particular for you and I, it's something that we love to do. True. That we cared about as kids. True. If my son was wanted to play the saxophone, I'm not sure to what extent I would feel competitive for him because I don't, maybe I would. Maybe I'd be like, well, could you be in a better orchestra, or can you play a harder piece? Like maybe those would go through my mind, but like I don't have a passion for instruments like that. So I don't think that it would just come out of me, because I'm passionate about sports, and because I love it and I like to play it.
I get that.
You still play pickleball, I still play hockey. So it's something.
What's funny is I never played ice hockey. I never had a passion for ice hockey.
But that's but you were familiar with it.
I never had a passion for ice hockey.
But you had a passion for sports, and
yes.
And if Otto was playing baseball, a sport that I probably stopped playing after 5th grade or 6th grade, I would probably be similarly invested if this was something he wanted to do. Yeah. And I'll also say this, from a young age, Dom and Otto were playing AAA, and there you get exposed to that world, and you see the insanity of it.
Oh yeah.
And you see how you see all these things, and you see that this is what parents of children who are excelling in a sport are doing, and it's that like keeping up with the Joneses thing,
right?
And we're dialing it. Well, I mean, I've dialed it back more than you have,
right?
Although I was also never as like off the deep end as you. I don't think.
I think I was off the deep end.
Maybe some would categorize it that way.
Really?
Well, listen, maybe that was a poor word choice. Off the deep end. Now, I'm not saying that you're crazy, although
I think I was
you
off
are
the
crazy.
deep end. We worked. We trained.
Let me put it differently. Okay, off the deep end. So if that came off insulting, I didn't mean
I'm not insulted. Trust me.
What I'm trying.
It takes a lot more to insult me. Trust me. I'm not insulted. I just don't know if I look at it that way.
Well, I will say this: the
he worked hard. No, he did.
No, but okay. But the amount of hockey that you gave to your child,
right,
at younger ages, I would put you in the 1%.
Listen,
there are very few people who did what you've done with him in ice hockey, between the academy and
listen, there's a bunch of us. You know what I mean?
But would you agree that's not, even within the sport of hockey, you're still on the end of the spectrum that
I'm not.
You did a lot more than
there's no
than
question
most.
I'm definitely on the did a lot more than most. There's no question.
Okay,
if I'm on one end of the curve, you're 100% right.
So I'm not saying that you're off the deep end, and that was just a figure of speech.
No,
I was just saying that
again. I'm not insulted. Trust me.
Right.
No, I did. No, I definitely did a lot. There's no question about it. 100%. And it's funny. You know what I noticed, that no matter how much you do, if they don't take to it, it doesn't matter how much you do.
Well, you wouldn't be doing so much if they weren't taking to it either.
That is true. There's no question about it. But it's funny how when you do a lot when they're little, and I guess that's appropriate, right? If you want them to be good at something, they want to be good at something, and you're helping them be good at something. The training is good, so he's definitely ahead of a lot of his peers, right? Mm-hmm. But puberty and stuff like that plays such a big role in this.
Right.
I mean, when you start hitting, everything changes. So do you need to do all of the stuff up front like that? I don't know.
No, but I guess
jury's out.
We were just talking about why do we care so much,
right?
And we were just talking about our passion for sports as kids, and now as now that we have kids, there are so many more ways to get your kid training.
It's available.
It's available.
Yeah. No, there's no question about it.
And
it's a lot.
We never had that.
No.
And so
there was probably stuff, but not like this.
Right. So it's this intersection of my kid's good. This is what other good players are doing or families are doing. Right. I'm going to do some of that because that seems, why would you not practice more or get more reps if the goal is to get better? So, it's a combination of a few things, I think. But if Otto, I don't know. I guess why do we care so much? I care because I know it's important to him. And if I'm being totally honest, I care because I really like hockey and I want him to be good at it.
Yeah.
At times, maybe more than I think he wants to be good at it.
Right. I think that's probably normal.
But in the same way, I would want my kid to make more money than I make.
Right. So that's what I mean. I want my kid to be the best version of himself.
Right.
And if him being successful and learning life lessons, doing this, that helps him down the road, then I think I've done my job as a parent.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, man, you get like wrapped up in the stuff very quickly.
Yeah, no doubt. And it's hard. It's, like just going through this weekend, it can be hard to not. Let me back up for a second. I didn't think that Otto going from tier 1 to tier 2 was necessarily going to change the way I felt about what I was seeing on the ice. Mm-hmm. I thought it was going to be a good fit for him. Right. But when I was in the stands, I had similar, thoughts and feelings and all those things. But because it's less, I don't want to say less competitive, but it's just different, and so it didn't.
It is less competitive.
I didn't get as worked up.
It's different speed.
It's a different. So I didn't get as worked up when I saw things because they, I don't want. Maybe they mattered less in my mind in the moment, like playing hot potato with the puck, like off the hop. It's like if that was like if that was his first shift on a AAA team, and like I would be like, dude, it would make me so much more upset.
Yeah, I understand. You'd be cringing.
Than here, but I was like, okay, so whatever.
Well, listen, I think they need to learn at their own pace too, right? I mean, I don't know the right answer, to be honest with you. Yeah. I mean, I saw parents this weekend having meltdowns, like
when you looked in the mirror. In the bathroom.
Well done.
Well, so speaking of that, so I was watching another game.
Well said.
And before you called,
but I walked outside. I was good.
Yes, you did, and you phoned a friend.
I did.
So good job. Yes. But
take our advice.
I was in a rink and I didn't see what had happened.
Right.
But there was a stoppage of play, and it was the game before Otto's, and I'm standing in the rink, and on the other side, the ref had just like stopped on the goal line in the corner and was like just like having some kind of conversation.
Yeah.
And I was strange, but then I realized that he had thrown someone out of the game.
A kid?
An adult.
Oh, got it.
An adult who then decided to come back into the rink.
So he threw him out of the rink and then he came back.
I have to assume that because the ref stopped like there was an icing. The ref stopped at the goal line, like picked up the puck and noticed that there was someone there that I guess he had thrown out.
Yeah. Oh,
and so
what did he go over the scorer's box?
What?
What happens then?
No, so the ref just stood there telling this dad to get out.
Like he's not going to drop the puck until he leaves.
I didn't hear what was being said, but that was basically what I could tell.
Yeah.
And so then I'm watching this unfold, and I was like wanting to get out my phone and like record it, and I'm like, oh, this would be great content
put it on
to
our Instagram.
Put on Instagram.
Yeah, seriously.
But
Look at this asshole.
I didn't. But then I'm watching. This dad has now left the rink, but he's standing at the doors, which is like right there. So the dad through the glass is like throwing up his arms, still motherfucking the ref.
I saw a couple of those.
And I was like, Jesus Christ, like, dude, just chill out. And look, I mean, we've all been to places where we've lost control, and I'm not saying that I haven't had similar feelings, but like by the time I'm like out of the rink, I'm not standing there still yelling through a second set of glass. You know what I mean?
They can't hear you anyway.
And it's not going to make a fucking difference. The only thing you do is look crazy to everyone 100%. Else that's watching you.
You're not going to change the ref's mind.
No.
But he's not going to change the call just because you're going bananas. Regardless of how much of a fit you're throwing, it's not going to change the outcome.
And then there were parents from this guy. I see like a dad comes down from the stands, and he said something or like he was basically running to like calm this guy down. It was like a parent who was still in the stand. It was like a whole fucking thing, and I'm just thinking to myself like, oh my God. Like, it's so not worth it. And, sometimes it's simple but not easy when I don't know what had transpired before. Maybe the guy that got thrown out was completely in the right for being upset. But at a certain point, it's just like, fucking cut it out.
We saw a pretty heavy duty fight on the ice. Like a
With who?
Kids.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
What?
Like wailing away.
But not your team.
No, it was right before we played.
No way.
But we played that team the next morning.
And was it clear who were there some kids that were chippy and dirty and looking for it?
I don't think he played against us. Pretty sure he did not.
He was serving his suspension.
Pretty sure he did not play against us.
Interesting.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he was not on the ice against us. It's funny. That's one thing I noticed this weekend. I'm not sure there's a whole lot of oversight with the league that our kids play in. Like I remember last year with the NJ, you could find officials. Like there were people if there was an issue, like there were people that were there like
at the rink.
There were at some of them, yes. Right? Depending on where you were, like district, stuff like that, playoff, stuff like that. They're definitely there. Like I don't know, there's a whole lot of oversight.
Clarify.
So if your kid gets thrown out of a game, right? There's not like that kid. One game we played, we kind of found out after one game we played, a kid had gotten thrown out the game before and played against us.
Interesting.
Yeah. It was the first or second, maybe it was their second game, something like that, or some third game, whatever it was, they played against us. And again, so I don't think there's a whole lot of oversight.
You know, that's interesting because like, just think of,
because like I have to tell you, like our team, like I remember last year, like when one of our kids got thrown out, like the organization wouldn't let him play. Like it was like it's almost like we policed ourselves. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but like, so you would expect someone from like the league to like check in with like the coach and be like, "Hey, listen, you have a suspension.
That kid,
that kid can't play."
Yeah,
like I don't know. Maybe there were emails.
I overheard people saying like, oh, if it's not like written down, like if it hasn't been logged in, we're gonna let him play. Like I overheard that.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? Think about this.
A coach.
Well, can you imagine? Let's just say that something like that happens. Mm-hmm. Let's say that a kid gets thrown out for, just say fighting. I don't know, whatever he gets thrown out for, whatever it is, boarding, whatever it is. Let's say he gets thrown out, right? And he plays the next game because nobody's paying attention. Mm-hmm. Okay, and let's say like he really hurts somebody. Mm-hmm. Can you imagine the lawsuit?
If the kid plays after being suspended and really hurt somebody?
Yeah.
I mean,
because again, apparently a kid played against us in one of the, I don't remember what game it was, but we found out after the fact. But again, there's nobody like paying attention. I'm not so sure anybody's paying attention.
Honestly, if a coach has fucking integrity, he's not going to fucking try to play a kid that's suspended. I mean, and also what lesson are you teaching that kid as a coach?
There's no question about
that. If one of my kids did something to get thrown out of a game for like hurting someone, there's not a fucking chance I would let that kid see the ice. If anything, I would,
Of course you wouldn't. But
there are people, that's not everybody.
Acts like that.
Especially if it's your best player. Or whatever, and I'm not saying that kid was the best player.
I don't even know which kid it was that played against us. But listen, if we go back and look, the kid may have had like 3 goals against us. It's very possible. Nobody actually went back to look, but think about that though. What happens if somebody gets hurt that next game? Can you imagine the fucking lawsuit?
Yeah.
Say somebody really gets hurt, like really injured, like really hurt. Like stick upside the head, stick to like the back of the neck. So like I'm talking like a real major injury.
So you're talking about you're talking about like an example where there's like a problem child who's like who
gets thrown out of a game,
who can't keep their cool,
whatever it was.
And there's like a pattern of behavior, and
say they let him play the next game because nobody's watching. There's no oversight,
and yet he does it again, and this time it was too much,
or something along those lines. And somebody really gets hurt. Can you imagine the lawsuit?
Is that where it would go?
If your child gets like super injured, where like it's like a major thing, like hospital, like I don't know, God forbid somebody gets killed, I don't know, think about that. Think about the lawsuit that's there.
I mean,
because again, I'm not sure anybody's watching. Because how did that kid play against us? So my point is who's paying attention?
If I'm
I don't know the
honest
answer
with you, isn't that like the job of the officials?
Shouldn't
they be reviewing any like?
So again, like it is the official's job to go back and look at the box score for the last game and say, oh look, Frank, had got thrown out for fighting or whatever it was, boarding or I don't know what XYZ penalty, and look, he was he got a major, so he was thrown out the next game. He's not allowed to play this game. Is that the official's job?
I don't know.
I don't either. That's why I'm asking.
It could be.
I don't know. That's what I'm asking.
I mean.
My point is that I don't know who's watching. That's what I'm saying.
I understand. And I guess I'm just not sure. I've never
I think
really
as parents,
thought about this.
we would like to think that somebody's watching.
Yeah, especially if there's a situation where a kid is, like getting thrown out for like violence or whatever the deal is. Yeah, of course.
Right?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, look, then maybe it's on the team manager also. And I'm not saying that
maybe that's what it is.
The team manager.
Maybe it's the manager's job to go back and look at the box score and say, look, Frank had whatever it was, a boarding call that they threw him out of the game because he was dangerous. So Frank's not allowed to play. Maybe I don't know. Again, I don't know whose job that is. All I know is that we last year would sit kids from the organization. Like we would not play kids. But apparently that doesn't happen out there. Apparently people play kids.
Interesting.
Even though they're not supposed to.
I had a few situations.
That's a really shitty example, no?
What, by playing them after something like that? Yeah, of course it does.
I mean, you're really not... you're getting thrown out of the next game for a reason.
Yeah.
There's a reason why you're getting thrown out of the next game.
I can't imagine that happens too often.
I would hope not.
I can't imagine, but I
would hope not.
I can imagine a coach doing that, although, I don't know, it questions the integrity.
I would hope not.
But all right, so this weekend, first 4 games for your team and my team in the books.
Yeah, it was fun.
And
it was definitely a cool weekend. Not gonna lie, I enjoyed it.
I wish I was there for more of it.
Yeah,
dude, it was exciting. Our game got pushed.
Stop going on vacation during hockey season.
Oh, give me a break.
I don't go on vacation during hockey season.
No, well,
although I said to you right before we started the podcast, Penn State, Michigan State. Outdoor game at Beaver Stadium, January 31st.
It's going to be good.
If Dom has a hockey game that day, that may be a problem because I do not want to miss that.
You mean like in person?
Yes.
You're going to go?
Yes.
Okay.
That's my plan.
That's awesome.
Yeah, January 31st, Penn State, Beaver Stadium, Penn State, Michigan State, outdoor game on the football field.
Sick.
Place holds like 109,000 people.
Let's go McKenna.
Seriously, that's going to be interesting.
Yeah, well, so I don't know what.
Well, other than that, don't go away during hockey season.
Yeah, point taken. Thank you very much.
It wasn't just to you; it was to everybody.
No, but
you don't want to let your team down. But for an 80th birthday, there have to be exceptions.
Yeah, yes.
No,
for a 10-year-old kid, sorry,
I don't disagree.
What was I going to say? We had missed 2 games last year also because we traveled to see, any event.
I gotcha.
Here and there, it's happened, but
happen.
So this weekend has been kicked off. Back in the saddle, like practices, all the things are kicking back up, and it'll be interesting to see. Yeah, and for me, like just reflecting on this past weekend and the, kind of the pods before this weekend, I absolutely. Oh, you know what I want to bring up, and we're not going to do it now.
We can.
Yeah, but we're getting a little long. And the car ride home. So we talk about the car ride home, and we talk about it from often like, listen, you don't want to like rip into your kid. We haven't really touched upon like, well, what if the kid has an outstanding game? Then is it like fair game just to talk to your kid about hockey because it's like he did really awesome? Now that sounds like, of course, what kid isn't going to want to like talk about it? Because I found myself driving home and I was talking to him about the game, and I realized that like I didn't even.
You didn't mention it to him.
I said, dude, like, I'm really happy for you. And like, oh, nice what game. About this and what about that? And so, here's my question. My question is like talking about hockey in the car ride home. If the kid has a great game, is that like fair game just to talk as much as you want about it?
I mean, listen, you should have the same rule for both. No,
I don't know.
I mean, I would think that you should probably the same. That's a very good question. I need to think about that one. Can we make that next week's episode?
We can. Yeah, we should talk about that.
Can we do that? Because I need to think about that one because I don't do enough of that. Like Dominic always says, Dad, why do you always talk about the negative stuff?
Yeah.
And I think we went over that like during one of the days last week. I'm like, well, you're supposed to do all the other stuff.
Right.
Like, which is unfair as a parent again. But that's a very good point.
Because with Otto, part of like this year, again, one of the things
you
is to be more positive.
Yeah,
we talked about, in the mini camp about like, not ruining confidence or, rebuilding confidence. And, I was proud of him. Look, there's plenty of things that like, that can be fixed, but there were so many check marks in the good column about what came out of this weekend. I wanted to celebrate that with him, and I did,
which is important, I think.
And
I think that's very smart.
There was not one moment where I said I did at one point say, he was like basically it turned into a 2-on-0, and he kept the puck and he deked the goalie.
Defenseman fell down.
He fought his way through the defenseman along the boards, and then his I guess his winger was going down the middle, and Otto was coming off the side.
Got it.
And he should have passed. He should have passed the puck.
Oh, he shot it?
Well, he held on to it, deked the goalie, and slid it in for a goal.
So it went in the net.
It went in the net.
But the hockey play should have been to move it for a one-time.
I think there should have been some moving the puck because ultimately there was time and space to get the goalie moving laterally.
Right.
Give to you, you give it back to me. Whatever. Yeah. The kids are not there yet.
No, a lot of them aren't.
But so I did bring that up and said, hey, listen, on their second goal,
maybe you should have moved it.
I was like, you weren't sure that went in, were you? Because I saw you looking over your shoulder. I'm like, did you even think about passing?
Yeah.
And
he's like, no.
No, he's like, I did. He's like, but by the time I thought about it, I was like,
it was on top of the goalie.
That's the way anyway. But my point is that I still, I brought up an opportunity to, it wasn't an old version of myself would have been like, dude, you got to pass the puck. But so instead I was like, dude, listen, awesome job. Yeah. You put another one on the net. Great.
Yeah.
Right. But I kept it super positive, and
I think that's important.
I kept it super positive.
I think that's important.
And there were moments where I didn't want to. Sorry, I cut you off.
No. I think that's important. Even if you don't want to be super positive, I think that's important because, Dominic said something to me before we went on this past weekend that I thought he's never really said to me before. We were just in the car, hanging out on our way somewhere before we left. And he turned to me and he goes, Dad, he goes this is the happiest I've ever been. And I was like, Jesus.
Really?
Yeah. So I think that there's something to be said for a healthy mindset and positivity. Nobody likes Debbie Downer or nobody likes negative Nancy. You know what I mean? It's I think that a lot of us parents that like to parent with I don't want to say an iron fist, that's not right, but parent hard, parent tough, which I think is appropriate in a lot of instances. Don't get me wrong, right? Because I like to parent like that. But I also think there needs to be a healthy, positive speak
balance.
Correct.
Yeah.
Injected into the other part.
Right.
Because if your kid's not in a good mindset, generally shit goes sideways.
Right. So one thing I'll just kind of finish this up with. Yeah. Now that the weekend came and went, and there are some things that I want to be like, dude, last weekend, here are some things that you probably could have done differently.
Yeah.
Now in my head, I'm conflicted about whether or not
I should shut my mouth.
Should I even bring this stuff up? And I don't know.
Are there a lot of things that you wrote down? Do you have a checklist of things that you want him to fix?
Listen, it's not a long. No. Yeah. Yes. No. And I say that because
it's not long. Hold on.
So there's some things. Look, all of these kids have plenty of stuff to work on. So let's just let's qualify by saying that. Fair. But there are some things that are lower hanging fruit or things that probably should be addressed sooner than later.
Okay.
So
fair.
So for me, I don't know if I want to even bring some of this stuff up. I do want to bring them up. I guess I'm really debating how I should bring them up and if I do it yet or I wait to see if things, some of the things that I might be a little concerned about now are going to change after a couple months. Is this so? And listen, why am I even vocalizing this? Why am I considering not saying anything? Because through all of these conversations and we're talking about being positive, I'm still trying to find my own personal balance of being able to give constructive feedback in a way that can be well received, that's well timed, that isn't me being a jerk, And so I'm having a hard time, not because I think the information shouldn't be shared necessarily, but I'm just figuring out how to do it in a way that's either more measured or more appropriate.
Right.
And
why don't you put them down on paper and come back to them in like a couple weeks and see if some of them haven't fixed themselves already.
Yeah.
And if they haven't, why don't you pick like the main two?
Yeah.
And try to fix those.
So don't say anything going into this weekend's game.
I would leave it.
We also only have one game this weekend. I'm not used to that.
Glad you have one. We have none.
Really?
We have a game slot that they didn't fill. Nobody wants to play us because everybody's scared of us.
So play a better team.
Nope. We even tried to get like AAA teams to play us. Nobody wants to play us.
So why don't you play your 14 U's? Oh, they probably have a game.
The AA 11s?
Yeah.
I think they have games. How bad would that be though if you wind up beating like an older team in your building?
It happens.
The optics are awful.
I guess.
They don't look good.
But
so anyway, but after that weekend we are full go. So we have a light weekend this weekend. We're gonna use our game slot as a full ice practice, which is awesome.
Yeah.
I'd rather do that anyway.
Yeah.
Because the puck's on your stick more in practice. It's perfect. It'd be great. And they have some stuff they want that the coach wants to work on. Our defense, is going to get worked, a little bit, which is good. They'll get a lot of work this weekend, so it's good. Listen, it's good things. I'm excited for the season. I am.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it.
Likewise.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. And I hope everybody had a good weekend. I hope their kids did well. I hope you guys didn't have any heartache this weekend. If you did, I hope.
Write in.
So terrible.
Write in and tell us. Yeah,
definitely.
Love to hear, love to share, love to learn from everyone listening out there.
Yes.
One thing before we finish up, want to make sure to call out our partners.
I was just going to say,
do that in the beginning.
No, we did not. Thank you to Howie's Hockey, who's been with us for a while now. Crazy 10 for 10% off any of your laces, gear, tape, candles, wax, clothing. They're awesome. Like I said, best logo in all of youth hockey, other than Crazy Hockey Dads.
I think Howie's better than Crazy Hockey Dads.
What?
I'm just being honest.
Speak for yourself.
Look at that guy. He's missing a tooth.
Know,
We both
awesome.
have teeth in it.
Not gonna lie, he is awesome. He really is awesome. Yeah, they have a sick logo.
Yeah.
But yes, so thank you to Howie's Hockey. God, you want to do the other one?
Angelo Surs.
Pro Stride.
CHD 10 discount code. Be on the lookout. I know we're probably not too far away from our schools back in effect, but there's going to be some holidays, some long weekends, some clinics that I'm sure. So check out his website and use CHD 10 to get 10% off.
Yep.
And then Athletic Performance Insight
API.
Again, any listeners have been thinking about video and analytics for their team, maybe haven't done anything about it yet. It's never too late.
Right.
So make sure to reach out to our friends over there. Eric, who's been on the pod, and if you're new to the show, listen, I don't forget what number episode it was, but we had him on the show.
Yeah.
Super great guy.
Yes, he is.
And it's they're helping teams like from the youth level up to college. Visit athleticperformanceinsight.com for more information and use a contact form to request a demo.
Just tell them Crazy Hockey Dads.
Yeah, just mention Crazy Hockey
for
Dads
10% off. Right?
Yeah.
I think that's like $100 value, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I didn't do the math on that, but it's
I'm pretty sure it's like $100 value.
And for anyone that's interested, I know that we've got a subscription that Eric said that we could
give out.
We could gift.
Yes.
So anyone that might be interested in that, please
reach
hit
out
us
to
up.
us.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
and write us in with your stories about this weekend. I'm curious to see how everybody else's experiences went.
No doubt.
I'd be very curious to hear that. So we hope that everybody enjoyed this. We hope you guys had a positive hockey weekend. Hopefully your kids all did well. And yeah.
I think that's it.
It was awesome.
It's a wrap, dude.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. I'm looking forward to this. I'm excited that we're back.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, hockey's back.
It's back.
It sure is. All right, bud.
All right.
Good seeing you.
Talk to you
later.